Hello. I know there's a saying, De morte nil nisi benedici, which I think is Latin for don't say anything about the dead but good. And in principle, I agree. And this video is not to, trash talk a dead woman. It more serves as a purpose to kind of reflect and not just have this one-sidedness. Oh, this poor woman, speaking about Lisa Williams, is being killed by this crazy woman. Because I think what's important to see is that this woman, I don't know if you can see it, this woman, apparently, her name is Chelsea Cook, snapped. Apparently, her husband and her had twins, and then he divorced her when the twins were 2 years old. So the divorce must have started before that, which seems like pretty much she had babies, and he dumped her. And then he had a relationship with a co-worker that was 26 years old. When she started, it was likely 24, 25. Apparently they were in a relationship for 6 months, which really makes you wonder how longer before that they had whatever else going on. And I'm completely against, like, you can't go out there and shoot somebody to death. But having said that, I know this is not so popular, but you also can't be playing house with a mother's children and get involved with this man who you had an affair with from work, and then these two little twin babies that are 3 years old, you taking the place of the mother by putting up Christmas decorations, like you're replacing the mother. And I think that evokes very primal instinct of Mama Bear. Maybe she was thinking, yeah, you can take my husband. I mean, that I'm sure wasn't pleasant, but you're not taking my children too. And I think that, this woman, 26-year-old that got killed, it's sad she never got the chance to reject her own behavior later on, and to be sorry about it. It's something she'll regret. I can't think of much of anybody who's in their 20s has an affair with a man and children with a woman that's obviously out of the picture because you're in the picture, and think later on in life, oh, that was such a great idea. That was the greatest relationship I've ever had. I could much rather see that woman later in life think, what was I thinking? Monica Lewinsky, that's what she said. She turned out to be rather a decent human being. She actually said, if I saw Hillary Clinton, which is incredible, like, who'd ever want to apologize to Hillary Clinton for anything? But she said, you know what, I have to apologize to Hillary Clinton because I should have not done that. I should have not involved myself with her husband. And that's kind of the decent, like, it doesn't even, I'm not a Hillary Clinton fan. That sure is not the case. And I think much of anybody is, unless you're going to be pressured into that whole, oh, I have to support her because I'm a woman, which is not a reason to support anybody. Like, but that's another issue. But she said, you know what, I'm sorry. I should have not had an affair with her, and I would have, if I saw her today, I'd apologize. And I think this woman that got shot in the face or head or wherever, that is dead now, I wouldn't be surprised if she was sorry about it. And I think that, what triggers my video is her mother put this video out. Her mother, oh, and I understand she's a grieving mother. Oh, my poor daughter, this evil, cruel monster killed my daughter. And it's like, you know what? You're her mother. Didn't you have better judgment? I mean, how did you raise your daughter? You didn't like tell your daughter, you know what? Probably not a good idea for you to be stepping in as a make-believe mother, a stepmother, when this woman just had babies, just had twin girls. Can only imagine how she feels about herself. It's been dumped by her husband, gotten divorced, and now you're playing house with her kids. I mean, you didn't think to tell your daughter, no, you shouldn't do that. That is not how I raised you, and that is actually a no-no between women. I mean, that's the problem with women. You know, talk about the big feminism and support women, but women do the worst thing to other women. And now she got shot, and that's another horrible thing to do. It just doesn't. That's a vicious cycle, and I'm not here to defend the murderer like she's an angel. You don't shoot in front of your children. You shot that woman. She must have just. She must have lost it. But it also says that she really made a point to her kids. I'm your mother. Boom. This one is nobody to you. She must have felt very threatened. And I understand that, because if I were in her position, I think a world would collapse for me as well. It just doesn't lead to anything. You can't kill somebody because they're doing something horrible to you. It's against my religion anyways. You shouldn't even think about it. You should actually, when you think about it, pray to God that you don't think about it. I've had people hurt my family, my children. In my life, it was neighbors. And, you know, maybe my reaction was like not much of any reaction other than being sad, but maybe that kind of makes me look like a chicken, or I don't know. But I always look at it that way. If somebody's out there to hurt you, you kind of should feel sorry for them. Because if they're out there to hurt you, that means they have a very empty life. Because if your life is good, you don't hurt people. Because your life is good. When your life is bad, you have the time in the world to do something ill to others. But you should kind of occupy yourself with your own life. And when somebody else does something bad to you, occupy yourself to correct that. You should fight. I mean, I fought. But I think you should base on the merits. I think you're better off fighting based on the facts. And I just think that makes you the better parent. The better parent doesn't shoot people. The better parent doesn't snap. At the same time, I think that's also an educational issue. I mean, she was actually a teacher. But, you know, what means does a regular teacher have to fight if something goes bad in the justice system? The problem is people don't have the money to fight. And if you don't have a lawyer, you don't even exist. Automatically, the person who has a lawyer is in charge. Pretty much, no matter what has been done to you, you can't afford a lawyer. It's over. So I don't know what has happened in this case. That's another problem. You know, it's just woman shot man. Woman that was the ex-wife shot the new girlfriend. That doesn't really mean much of anything. You know, it's just, there's some facts like, oh, you know, they met at work. Doesn't really scream, you know. I mean, it just kind of seems that they met at work. You know, the man who was out at work, supposed to provide for his children, was maybe too busy doing other things. And that man You know, you're such a piece of trash. I mean, really, I don't care how crazy and wacko your wife was or is. You had children with her. You had twins with her. You had, okay, you don't decide if it's twins or not, but you did have twins with her. That means your wife must have been so overwhelmed. I mean, I've had newborn babies, one at a time, but to have a newborn baby that's just all your energy, all your love, everything in you goes to that child. All your attention, everything. And you are constantly working on, you know, oh, is there anything the child needs? Is there anything that you can do better? Is there anything that you overlooked? And then every 5 minutes, is the child still alive? I mean, it's just a big, big thing. As a new mother, you just, that's the precious thing ever happened in your life. And to have twins, oh, that must be so much work. Oh, wow. It makes me tired thinking of it. And to have to go to work to support these children, and then your husband goes to work and, like, what, cries a river to some 20-some-year-old that never had babies, doesn't know anything about anything. Oh, my, what, who knows how this all started? Oh, I'm attracted to, you know what? Why are you attracted to a man that is married? It's like, in my life, whenever I met a man that's married, that man, the moment you're not, this is the funny thing, the moment you find out a man is married, don't you, it's a normal thing, you develop this, oh, you're like a brother, yeah, a cousin, you're like, you don't count anymore, you're not a man anymore, and not in a bad way, you actually, you're like an awesome man, because wow, you know, you're married, like that means you must be some sort of man. You're not married, not being a man, okay, nowadays, but in my head you won't. And so that means you're a man, but you're not, because you're like a man that isn't a man. You're like a bro man, a brother man. You're somebody that has no, there's no anything gonna go on, and that's healthy. And I don't know what, I mean, obviously you can't, you know, she's dead, so there's no asking, but any other, like, woman, what goes on in your head that when there's a man that's, you know, crying about his family, about his wife and his newborns, and oh, it's so difficult, blah, whatever, oh, I don't get this, I go, oh, what in the world? Do you want to be supportive? You know how you're supportive? Hey, can I watch your children so you and your wife can have a date? That's supportive. Or, do you want me to clean your house or send someone to clean your house? That's supportive. Or, you know, I mean, whenever, like, man in my life tried to complain about their family, it's not like, hey, you picked it only. It's like, well, you're so blessed to have a family. Isn't that just awesome? And, you know, if your wife is upset with you, what did you do? How did she get so upset? And if she's so unreasonable, she's a woman. She's going to be unreasonable. She was unreasonable when you met her. It's the same woman that you met. Like, it's not, now she's different. It's more like, you know, you're not the center of attention anymore because there's babies. That's a good woman. And twins, you know, I'm wondering if she just killed that woman while she was completely sleep deprived and just, I mean, I remember, even if you just have a single birth child, you know how tired, I mean, how tired you get. It's almost like after a year and a half or so is the first time, at least for me, when you would get, like, because, like, even if somebody, offers to watch your children, you're there. You're not, when they're really little, at least for me, you just kind of really want to, like, you're there and you're their mother, and you just want to make sure they're fine. You don't just kind of say, here, have them, and I'll just, so you kind of get sleep deprived. And maybe after a year and a half or so, or 2 years, it's the first time that you ever really get a good night's sleep. And I'm talking 20 hours in a row, where you're just like, especially if you're nursing, and I nursed for a long time, there's just, you never get sleep for a long time. You just do not. And that is harsh. People, I think, in China use that as Chinese torture. So if it's considered to be a torture weapon, can you imagine, and you do it out of love. So it's like, you don't look at it as a bad thing, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't affect your body. And I'm wondering if this woman, I know the children were 3, given that she went through a divorce when they're so little, and it must have been ugly, and I'm sure she realized a lot longer ago that this woman had something to do with it. It's like, yeah, I get it. I think that is one of the worst things that you can do to another woman. So the murder victim is a victim of a murder, but she's not a victim in the whole scheme. That's my main message. She's not this poor victim that, oh, how did this happen? She's not a drive-by shootout, drive-by, I don't know how you say that. Shootout, drive-by shootout, or drive-by shooting. She's not drive-by shooting, and she's not a car accident victim or a murderer or like out of the blue. It's like, you flaunt into a woman's face how happy you are with her man and her children, and they're little, and you're the reason that they're no more. Maybe you got something coming your way. Doesn't make it right, but I get it. There's a lot of murders I don't get, but this one I get. So, doesn't justify it, but don't put this woman. And if you look at the picture when she's arrested, or before, like, how do you do this? I mean, this woman looks, to me, she looks scorned, disillusioned, sad, angry, done. And so I see that. I don't see this vicious monster killer in that face. It looks more like you can only abuse someone for so long before they retaliate. And I know she got arrested for domestic violence. But again, I wonder what truly happened there as well. And I think that when you cheat on somebody and they have your little babies, and it seems like she didn't even really flip out until it involved her babies. I mean, to me, I don't know. I don't think that I would, care enough about a man to kill for him because he doesn't want me. It's more like I have this attitude that the best punishment for a man is that you're not going to be with me, that I'm not going to offer you a great life from the part that I could offer you. And I think I'm a person that has a lot to offer, and I think that a woman should think of herself that way. I have a lot to offer, and if you don't want to be with me, that's first of all your freedom, and secondly, that's your loss. That's the best punishment ever, is that you don't get to talk to me anymore. You don't get to be part of me. Me is gone. And I think that with her, it seems that she didn't really let go. But at the same time, you know, I mean, maybe I see it wrong. Maybe if you love somebody more than maybe I love somebody, maybe you go nuts. But maybe, I mean, but it's not a good thing. And I think that goes back to, if you put God first in your family and your life, no other human being will take control of you, because they're not first. If you put God first, then you automatically have a good sense of distance between you and a person, and that obsessiveness. I think to obsess about somebody is not so great. I think it's much better to love somebody, but have some sort of a distance. But not a bad distance, but more like a, all right, I do love you, perhaps, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to ruin myself over you if you don't work out. But I have deep respect for women that, or humans, men, women, if they fall that deeply in love. I mean, who am I to judge what that feels like when that doesn't work out? And the man in this, you know, he kind of gets away really well, in a way. I mean, that woman he was going out with, she's replaceable. I mean, evidently in his life, women are replaceable. Look at number one. He might be sad for a few moments, then he's going to get some boo-boo sympathy. Oh yeah, poor you, your girlfriend got killed, so there's the next woman lining up to him that's going to, not coddle him, would you say that? Like comfort him. No, poor you, blah. Then he gets full custody of his children. So the ones that really lose are the two women. It's amazing how women are dumb. Women hurt each other. And there will be no feminism victory while this stuff goes on. Women are dumb. Women do evil things to other women because of man. I mean, that's not even a good reason. I can have a man. I want a man. I have your man. You got my man. Blah, blah, blah. What is that? Why are us women complaining about how bad men are, and then we fight over them? That is just so dumb. Don't fight over a man. Let a man fight over you, and not with another woman. You know, if a man is with another woman, you don't want him. Because, I don't get it. There are so many single men out there. You don't need to go for the one that's taken. And you don't ever need to go with somebody that has a brand new family. You never gave those children a chance. You robbed those children. And now the children are traumatized by you getting killed in front of them. All that would have not happened if you had just said, you know what, you keep your trousers zipped. I'm young. I'm good looking. She could have been smarter, so then she would have been smart too. I'm smart. And I'm not doing this to your children. And that's the thing, you know. If you truly love a man, then you would want the best for his children. And how can you offer the best for his children when you just took their mother away? Then you're not offering the best to these children. I don't know, oh, there's a Vaco mother, blah, blah, blah. It's their mother. No matter how, believe me, I know Vaco women. But, you know, and it's amazing. I'm not gonna name names. But their children love them. That's their mother. So it's like, that's part of them. That's their mother. That's their flesh and blood. So don't be taking someone's man away and then someone justified because the woman was so crazy. Well, those children, they're part of that crazy woman. So why would you want that craziness in your life? That's just my logic. I know. It's not so popular, but think about it. This is not attacking the woman's family, or which I think they should have. If you want to prevent the death of your loved ones, maybe when they're doing dumb and stupid stuff, you should tell them you're doing dumb and stupid stuff. But maybe they did say it. I don't know. You know, I would have just liked to see the tribute a little bit more about, you know, I told her so. I knew this was happening. I wish she had not gotten involved in this wrong situation, and it should have never claimed her life, though. I just would have thought that to be a better tribute than, oh, this evil other woman shot my poor baby, you know. That's just not what happened. She's not an evil other woman. She got victimized by your daughter and her ex-husband. And that doesn't mean you go out and shoot people. But that does mean that you might want to watch out how you live your life, so you don't go out there and get shot by someone who you hurt so much that that's the only way they thought they could go on, is when you're gone. We just have to all learn to treat each other with more respect, dignity, and regard. And if you hit somebody below the waistline, below the belt, I don't know how you say it, below a certain area, you don't know what's going to come out of that. Just don't take it that far. And if you are willing to destroy someone else's happiness for your happiness, then you're evil. Because that happiness is worth nothing, because you build it on tragedy. If you're only happy if somebody else, if your only way of happiness is via destruction of someone else, maybe you're not going about it the right way. And you could say, but he was divorced, and they worked together. All along there was stuff going on, one way or the other. Not all relationships are physical either. And we're just best served to go about it by, like, when you pick a partner, it's not just about attraction. I think attraction is very, very important, which is why I'm single. Because if I'm not attracted to you, I don't care how great you look on paper if you don't attract me. And it can't only be attraction either. It's a good way to live. Be single unless you find the right one for you. And the right one should be unattached. If the right one is in the middle of an ugly divorce with a woman who's very attached and has little babies, then why don't you wait 5-10 years and see what happens? Just give another family a chance before you're the one destroying it for your own satisfaction. How satisfactory is it to see people suffer? And don't think for a moment those children loved you so much. They love their mother, and they're traumatized. They don't know what's going on. Just because they're nice to you, because you buy them stuff, and you're nice to them, you can never replace their family that you were saying, oh, you don't need, because I want your dad. I mean, that's why I'm so surprised by the royal family. Prince William, Prince Harry, blah blah. Your mother is dead. Dead because of another woman. Your mother would be alive if that other woman wasn't messing with your father before you were even born. she very much even endangered your existence because you were so close to not being born. Your mother is dead because of her. That's why she's dead. Your mother loved your father. She, look at those cute little cheeks, how red they were when they first got introduced to the world in that interview. Of course. And now she's gone. Because of a wicked mistress, that is your wicked stepmother that you're on good terms with, that you're accepting. Whose wedding you went? You went to the wedding. You went to the wedding of the woman who caused your mother's death. What's wrong with you? Is it worth it? Because that's what it means to be royal? What's royal? You're not royal. You're a family of people that somehow successfully convinced a whole large number of people that they should give you a ton of money to sustain your lifestyle. So they could say they have a king or queen. And is it worth it? Like, wouldn't you want to throw all that away to say, no, not with me, not happening? Isn't your mother worth it? Is a palace a good exchange for a live mother? Is fame, and fortune and becoming king one day, or, living large, worth it? Because your mother didn't think so. She did like luxury, I could see that. But by the end of the day, she stuck with her heart. Because if she hadn't stuck with her heart, she could have just stuck with your father, stay married, let him have a mistress. That was the plan that he had for her before she ever even laid eyes on him. That was his plan, that this woman will be in his life no matter what. I love you no matter what. That's your biological father. And you think he's a great dad? Great dads don't set up 19-year-old girls and 19-year-old girls for a failed marriage, a failed life. But you get to be queen one day. Why didn't he tell her from the get-go, look, this is the deal. I won't ever love you like I love this hag. Ugh. Let's not even go into that. Is incredible. That is a whole nother thing. Wow. You could have been honest with your mother and say, you know what? I'm going to love you. I care about you. Let's have children. You're good stock. Let's get married. You'll be queen one day. And your heirs will be having the throne one day. Let's make it happen. Oh yeah, no. She would have said no. She would have said no. And you don't deprive a girl of that right. How's it different than an Islamic forced marriage? It's under false pretenses. She said yes because she thought that he loved her. That's why she said yes. She didn't say, oh yeah, let's do the scam. Because I really want the crown. She wanted, I'm sure some part of a 19-year-old girl, I'm sure she would have not fallen in love with that funny, cartoonish looking dude. I remember growing up in Germany and all these cartoons of Prince Charles. That guy, Prince Charles, it's like something went so wrong. You know how like you kiss a frog and turns into prince? That guy kind of became a prince. Still kind of looked like a frog. Like he didn't really transform. It's like That's why I never was for Prince Charming. Prince Charles is the best way for any little girl to be very delusioned and not go to fairy tale land about Prince Charming. Because you look at, I mean, I remember that was like the picture of the prince. Prince Charles is the biggest prince in the world. So I looked at that frog look, and the what what is that on both sides? What, like, Rotkraut, how you say, like cabbage ears, you know, like, whoa. So when I was a little girl, and I was like, that's Prince, that's Prince, like the most famous prince in the world. I never wanted Prince Charming. That was just so repulsive to me. So I'm sure part of your mother, you know, overlooked a lot, like a lot. And there was some sort of like little dream, like, you know, oh, I'm gonna, like, you know, I'm falling for Prince Charles. Like, no woman would fall for Prince Charles. Ever. But still, she was very young, and she was still owed the truth. She was still owed an option. If you want to do something, do it the right, that is like involving another person's life, and it could impact that life adversely, and you should let them know this is the deal. You get this, I get that. But no, marry her, and she already, and her sisters, you know, oh yeah, you're gonna marry him. There's teapots with your name on it, blah, or whatever they said. They all set her up, and she, you know, it's hard when you're 19. It's kind of a big thing. Teacups. In England, especially. I mean, teacups in England. That's like, I don't even know. That's like hamburgers in America. I guess if a hamburger was named after you, are you gonna leave? So teacups. That's all they do is drink tea because they're all the right. Be on a teacup or an umbrella, and you are stuck with the prince. I could see that. But she never got a fair chance. She was not given an option. And look at what happened with that hag that was in their lives. She would not back off. And the girl is dead. So in this case, with the Lisa Williamson, the mistress got killed. It's almost like kill or be killed. Because in the long run, a woman that got dumped by her husband for some other woman, and you have children, a lot of them don't do so well. I mean, Diana Spencer, or Diana, she got so lost. And she got blamed, and she got victim shamed, and she got turned crazy and then accused of being crazy. Ah, she's crazy. She's bulimic. Look, she's so sick. What made her sick? What made her sick? Like, you poison somebody, and then you say, look, they're sick. Why did you make them sick? Why didn't you just leave her alone? Because you needed a bride? Tough. Take the hag. Oh, she was already married. Well, they should have taken the hag before she got married. Oh, it was against the rules. So again, for you, it was more important to have a crown on your head that you'd be supporting with your ears, obviously not with what's in there, than marrying the love of your life. So then what? Then you ruin another girl's life? But you guys, William and Harry, you're just as bad. You're not innocent anymore. Horrific that your mother died. And when they made you walk behind the casket, I mean, I just thought that was a weird English custom. It's like, well, that's a terrible thing to do, but it's not an English custom. The The whole royalty hid behind you. They made you walk because they were scared. Because the country was angry and mad. And they were scared. The queen, little chicken, your father, not sure if he's going to get killed. And the hag, in her evil witch tower, sitting in maybe a little bit of happiness, but also, this might not go so well. And they sent you. You were going to be the face of royalty, because if it wasn't for you, there might not be a royalty. And that wasn't your choice, because you were very young. Especially that hairy dude. How did you not lose your mind? And maybe you have. But now that you're grown-ups, your mother's dead, and all you do is, oh, we have a concert for her. We love our mother, yeah, oh. That you put out in the public, but you allow this wicked, wicked woman to be part of your lives, to be part of your children's lives, and you just allow that to happen. Why? For the crown? Oh, come on. For the crown? Is it worth it? Do you think your mother wouldn't turn around in her grave if she knew that you went to the wedding? The wedding? The marriage? The holy marriage that woman destroyed for your mother, and you go to see her not just marry, but marry your father? What's wrong with you? What's the matter with you? How? How could you ever say you loved your mother? What? Who can pressure you into doing that? How is that possible? I mean, I understand you get along with her children because her children didn't ask for that. I mean, but with that woman, you accepted her because it makes your father happy? What made your father so happy? It killed your mother. Do you know what it means for a woman to have in your head over and over and over that your husband, whom you just had 2 teeny little babies, which happened in the other case, is messing with this other woman, is physically intimate with this other woman over and over while you're supposed to go rounds and rounds the world and act like you're the wife? Do you know how crazy that is? How horrendous? And you accept her? I don't care if it's just for public purposes. Why? Why would you? You don't have to do that at all. You have to accept it for any purposes. You should always stand up to your mother, for your mother, and stand up. Say, no, that is disgusting. This is unsacred. This is defiling my mother's memory. What are you doing in the palace? What? How did the woman that caused your mother's misery, that caused your mother's heartbreak, end up living amongst you guys? I don't care how much you love your father. There's, you don't have to. What kind of example are you setting by accepting it? And you cannot be such a betraying Judas. Don't betray your mother. Every day, every time that you're seen with that hag, you're betraying your mother every single time. Because your mother, she wouldn't like it. I don't like it. And it's not my life. The only reason I kind of really noticed your mother in life is because she kind of looks a bit like my mother. Like they have those weird, like kind of like these really big outstanding eyes, you know, like that certain. It's weird to see that. Like it's definitely yeah, that's what my mother has. And also blonde hair, short. Like my mother had that, whereas my mother's a lot older than my mother. She just does. She always looked like it. Wasn't like my mother's to copy princesses or whatever. No, she's busy being a dentist. But you know, and I'm sure your mom. I mean, your mother had a ton of loss, like any other young girl. But I mean, she got thrown into a world at 19. At 19, 19. Oh man, the weird things we all do at 19, or the thoughts we have, or the way we are. Like, just so child. And then she was used and used and used and ignored, and she got sick, and she tried to live her life. And whether that accident was a murder or not, it's another video, another day, and it's just strange she predicted that. That's just so strange. She predicted it. Didn't she claim that her husband alluded to her that she would have a bad car accident or something? She said if ever anything happened to her, to look like to look like an accident, a car accident, to look at her husband, and that's how she died. I mean, I know in every other free world, if you predict your death, that is considered that's not considered coincidental. If you predict your way of dying, so I don't know. I mean, wow, I don't know. But apparently, you've been raised to become detached robots, just like you need to be in order to be part of what you call your own firm. Is a firm more important than family? What if the firm is family? I don't want to change with you in any ever. No money in the world is worth having to be stuck in your life, because in your life it's a lot harder to do what's right, because you have a lot more to lose if you do what's right. It's so worth losing, because winning your soul is worth it every single time. God bless you all. I know I have a not so popular opinion. And feel free to tear me apart in your comments, in the comment sections. Try to see that I don't come from a place of hate, more of justice. I like justice, and I like to look at issues in the bigger picture and from all standpoints. And I don't take any joy in that woman, Lisa Williams, being dead. It's sad. She was very young, and you do stupid things when you're young, and you should get a chance to regret them one day, or not, but at least get a chance when you're more mature and think it through, and you've made your own children, and you see, wow, I did a horrible thing. I mean, maybe sometimes it takes something to understand what horrible thing you did. With the hag, what's it called? What's her name called? Kamalita or something? Camila? Whatever. The feminine hygiene dream of Prince Charles. She's trash. And I've never heard her regret anything. I never heard her apologize. I never heard her say, I'm sorry. I destroyed this woman's life, so can you with this man? She doesn't seem sorry at all. And she's so fun to be around. and those kids from Diana. I know it's harsh, not that you care, but it actually displayed that you don't. I still feel sorry for you too, because you were very young when it all happened. And you must have been very brainwashed in the meantime. At some point you accepted it as a way of life. Sadly. But yeah, I'm just kind of out there with my opinions. And if you do understand what I mean, maybe you can elaborate. Because I don't think I express myself as well as many others do.